Hey guys, TrepChains here on the PTR for Diablo 3 2.6.10. Checking out the updates to the Uliana's Exploding Palm Monk. There's two key changes in patch 2.6.10, which includes Gundo Gear having Exploding Palm's damage increased by 75 to 100%. That damage boost is new. And an update to the 4-piece of Uliana's to mean that for 7 seconds after applying Exploding Palm, you get 77% damage reduction. This 77% damage reduction is an update in the second part of PTR, and it is very helpful. Effectively, it's allowed me, while playing this build, to drop an extra piece of damage reduction, which is the Unity Ring in my case, and therefore pick up some extra damage items. In this case, I've been able to pick up COE, which is a huge boost when we're applying Exploding Palm and exploding on the cold cycle. In general though, I do personally feel this is a little bit underpowered still, and I would still like to see a bigger boost to damage either on the Gundo Gear itself or a bit of a boost to the 6-piece Uliana's damage. Overall, what I'm wearing here is an Uliana's 6-piece set, but wearing 5 of these. And in general, every third hit is applying Exploding Palm. My 7-sided strike deals extra damage with each hit. Not very important to me here on this Exploding Palm build, but applying my Exploding Palm gives me the damage reduction as well of 77% on that 4-piece. And for the 6-piece, it increases the damage of Exploding Palm by 9,000%. And our 7-sided strike detonates Exploding Palm, which is very important. I'm also wearing the Endless Walk set, Traveler's Pledge and Compass Rose, and Captain Crimson's, using the 3-piece set bonus, but wearing 2 pieces. The ring I'm wearing is the Convention of Elements, which, as I say, is a change from what I was wearing earlier in PTR before that 77% damage reduction was added into the Uliana's 4-piece. That's really positive to get more damage into the build. And effectively, I'm doing around 9 tiers higher than I was able to previously on the build due to that. My weapons are the Fist of Aztarask. This is Exploding Palm's damage is increased up to 500%. And Lion's Claw, which allows 7-sided strike to perform an additional 7 strikes, giving up to 14 total, which really works well with the Binding of the Lost in my cube. In my cube I have the Flow of Eternity, which reduces the cooldown of my 7-sided strike by 60%, my Binding of the Lost, which was just mentioned, 5% per hit with 7-sided strike, which is generally up to 14, so giving up to 70% damage reduction, and Ring of Royal Grandeur to enable my Uliana's 5-piece Crimson 2 pieces, as well as Spirit Guards for extra damage resistance. I do still find that I need a lot of damage reduction in my gear to be able to play this build. Legendary gems being run here include Bane of the Trapped, Bane of the Stricken, and Gogok of Swiftness. The cooldown is really important to keep up Epiphany as much as possible for survivability once again. Skills I'm using here is Way of the 100 Fists. So this is applying my Spirit Guards, as well as due to the Uliana set bonus, actually applying some Exploding Palm as well. Cyclone Strike, which is nice to pull the mobs in at the start of a pull. Exploding Palm, Impending Doom. This seems to be the biggest damage, which is the Cold Rune. Epiphany Desert Shroud, providing some damage reduction as well when it's off cooldown. Dashing Strike, Blinding Speed, just helping me to move around the rift. And 7-sided strike, Sustained Attack. Sustained Attack rune is selected for the cooldown. Now the passives I'm running in this particular run include Near Death Experience, which I would recommend. A cheat death is always great. Beacon of Atar, the cooldown. And Harmony for extra resistances. The other passive I'm running is effectively my preferred passive, but not the common passive. So that is Determination. And this effectively means I get a 20% damage boost if there's 5 or more enemies within a 12-yard radius of me. So in all these packs I'm pulling together, it's not as effective once I get down to just a few mobs. However, most people, not me, run Mythic Rhythm. And this passive will be such that after you've hit your generator 3 times, your next spirit spender gets a 40% damage boost. I personally just found that skill a bit hard to use and a bit hard to apply consistently, so that's why I've gone with the lower damage boost of Determination, but I feel it's applying more consistently for me. All in all, how I'm feeling feedback-wise is the 77% damage reduction addition on Uliana is really important, it's really beneficial, and it's really helped this build. However, I'm still, at the end of the day, just doing a Greater Rift 112. And while that might seem high and okay at 1300 Paragon, this is including the seasonal bonuses, so including the extra slot in the cube, as well as including the clones as well. And if I look at some of the other classes, they're basically performing a fair bit better. And if I look at some other monk builds, including the Tempest Rush style builds, they're basically performing a fair bit better. So I still feel it's underpowered. I understand that perhaps I'm not playing it optimally. There could be some more snapshotting or something on Exploding Palm. I'm not really one of those people who are into that kind of snapshot playstyle, so perhaps it's just me that I just don't play it right, I'm not sure. But I personally feel like playing it, you know, I guess more naturally like this is somewhat fun. And I wish I had that bit more damage to be a bit more competitive. But thankfully, the damage reduction seems a lot better, at least while I have that 4th cube slot. I'm not totally sure how it's going to perform once I don't have that, because I do obviously have that extra damage reduction piece in there by being able to have both Binding the Lost and my Spirit Guards, which I may not be able to have, you know, outside of Season 22. Overall, when I'm trying to get to the packs, you can see here, I will try and manually apply an Exploding Palm and use a 7-sided strike early, and that's really to get up the damage resistance or the damage reduction to try and effectively not die as badly, because these are active applications, all the damage reduction, or a large majority of the damage reduction, is active, right? I have to apply the Exploding Palm, I have to hit with my Spirit Generator, and I have to hit with my 7-sided strike, because they're all active things. When I'm moving, I only have the damage reduction really from the Traveler's Pledge Compass Rose. So it's important that when I get to new mobs that I hit those things, even if they're not going to do much damage, just to get me the survivability. see towards the end of this run here, related to the Season 22 seasonal bonus, I did, I guess, skip a lot and just tried to kill little trash packs and move on. And this is mainly because I was looking for a pylon to see if I could get a clone to help me on the Rift Guardian. Unfortunately, I did not get that pylon, so I had to fight the Rift Guardian without a pylon, but thankfully I have Stricken to help with that. So if you're wondering why I'm just leaving a lot of stuff, it's because I figured maybe if I move on, kill little bits of trash and move on, maybe I'll get that pylon for the boss. When I am fighting the boss on this particular version of this build using Determination instead of Mythic Rhythm, without a significant amount of ads, which I don't have here, although I have some ads, I'm never really going to get my Determination boost. So I do find it's helpful for getting me through the GR, but it's worthwhile noting it's not very effective on most Rift Guardians. It's not really going to help. So that's certainly somewhere where, you know, Mythic Rhythm would be a better choice. But as I say, overall, I found Determination more consistent for me. I do have Stricken, though, on this boss fight. So that basically increases the damage over time. And as I'm going through the boss fight, I'm just really trying to make sure that when I get the opportunity, I'm throwing a manual EP down on cold, and then hitting my 7-sided strike straight afterwards, also on cold, to try and improve my damage output. The update to the Ulianas for 77% damage reduction is certainly appreciated, but I still think this could have more damage to be properly competitive, either via an increase on the Gundo Gear Exploding Palm damage increase, or an increase on the 6-piece Uliana's set bonus. See here that Stricken is really helping boost that damage over time, so that eventually I am able to take this boss out despite not having the clone. GG. Greater Rift 112 down on the Uliana's Exploding Palm Monk.
Let's see what we can do.
Quick look at the gear and skills here. running a Uliana's Exploding Palm Monk at around 1383 paragon, wearing 5 pieces of Uliana's with the helm, dexterity, critical hit chance, and exploding palm damage. Shoulders with dexterity, vitality, resistal, and cooldown. Gloves with dexterity, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and cooldown. Chest with dexterity, vitality, and resistal. And pants with dexterity, vitality, and armor. Also running Captain Crimson's 3-piece, but wearing 2 with dexterity, vitality, resistal, and armor on the belt. And dexterity, vitality, resistal, and exploding palm damage on the boots. Wearing the Endless Walk set. Using Traveler's Pledge with cold skill damage, critical hit damage, and critical hit chance. And Compass Rose at the moment with damage roll, dexterity, crit hit damage, and crit hit chance. Supporting legendaries, running Gundo Gear with cold skill damage, dexterity, vitality, and crit hit chance. 94% there on the orange stat, it does go up to 100. Convention of Elements, running it with intelligence, because it's what I've got. Crit hit damage and crit hit chance. Would probably like some area damage or a plus damage roll instead of that intelligence. Using the Fist of Aztarak with dexterity, vitality, and cooldown. Importantly there on the orange stat, exploding palms on death explosion damage is increased by 400 to 500%. And the Lion's Claw, running that with damage, dexterity, and cooldown for the 7-sided strike, performing an additional 7 strikes, and that's really important with the belt that I have in the cube.
I am returning to town.
Taking a look at the cube now, I'm running the Flow of Eternity to reduce the cooldown on 7-sided strike. Binding of the Lost, this grants 5% damage reduction for 7 seconds per hit of 7-sided strike. So 7-sided strike goes up to a maximum of 14 hits by wearing the Lion's Claw, so I'm getting up to 70% damage reduction from that. Ring of Royal Grandeur, this is allowing me to wear the 5-piece Uliana's and 2-piece Captain Crimson's. And Spirit Guards for that extra damage reduction when I'm hitting with a Spirit Generator, which I'm doing pretty much all the time with my Way of the 105th. Quick look at my Paragon. Say I'm at 1383 Paragon. I have all points in utility, all points in defense, all points in offense. Over in core, I'm running all points in max spirit and movement speed, 100 points into vitality, running around at about 650,000 life, and the rest of my points into dexterity there. Taking a quick look at my skill screen, I'm running Way of the 105th Assimilation, Cyclone Strike Implosion, Exploding Palm Impending Doom, Epiphany Desert Shroud, Dashing Strike Blinding Speed, and 7-sided Strike Sustained Attack, with passives Harmony, Beacon of Atar, Near-Death Experience, and Determination. Worth noting here that many people run Mythic Rhythm instead of Determination, which you can see here. I've personally decided that my playstyle doesn't suit Mythic Rhythm very well, so that's why I'm running Determination, but if you would prefer, you can certainly run Mythic Rhythm here instead. Quick look at my gems. I'm running cooldown in the helm, all resist in the armor pieces, and critical hit damage in the weapons, with legendary gems. Bane of the Trapped here at rank 100, Bane of the Stricken at rank 73, and Gokok Swiftness now at rank 80. Redrift 112 down on the Exploding Palm, Uliana's Monk. Definitely better with that 77% damage reduction on the 4-piece set, but I do still feel it could use a bit of a damage boost. Thank you very much for watching, and GG!